Okay, so I'm just going to do a little voiceover. Hopefully you can see what I'm got going on here. We're going to just do a trailer bearing hub install onto the axle. So what I'll start with is these are all just pre-bought off-the-shelf parts. I like to use a bit of, this is actually wax and grease remover. It's inside one of those aerosol-free cans, and I just pop the top, refill it with wax and grease remover, and just keep it on hand. Fantastic. Just like to give everything a nice clean. Make sure everything's all, there's no grit, and you never know, the slightest little thing can upset a bearing, and then before you know it, you're in a bit of a world of pain. Alright, so good to go. Okay, so I've got this little doodah here, which is a bearing greaser. So you put the bearing down, stay there. So it goes down that way over this little section there, and then like that, and then you push down with this. I like to do sort of like a circular pushing down motion. Sometimes it takes a little bit. It's a bit cold here, the grease is a bit stiffer than normal. There we go, so you take that off and we pull that up, and you have a nice greased bearing all inside the rollers and stuff. And then we do actually add more grease later down the track. So we'll do the next one. Look. Okay. So that's good. Good to go. Put that back together. This gets sealed up in like a Ziploc bag when it's not being used to prevent anything getting in there. Now what I'll do is I'll grab some grease. Yeah. Gee, that was a good glove, wasn't it? Okay. We won't worry about them. So I like to get a good lathering of grease. Actually down inside, alright? And then we'll get some on the bearing seat where the actual rollers of the bearing rub against. And so it kind of looks like that. Get the big bearing. Now, big bearing goes in the back, little bearing in the front. That's the only way they fit. I've got just a standard axle seal here. It goes in there, and then we get the little hammer. I like to work it around rather than put a You can put a flat plate on top and give it a bit. And I like to get a little bit of grease and just wipe it inside the seal, just to help lubricate it when it goes on over the axle there. Like that, so that's ready to go. And then I like to get a bit more grease in the front here, and I'm pushing it into the sides, so when you slide the axle through, it doesn't all push out. Some will, but majority of it will stay in there. Yeah, it's a bit greasy, a bit messy, but you get that. So on there, that's how it goes. Now you can either slide that on like that, as it is. We'll get a little bit more grease, just a little, just to make sure that that's all covered up in there. Now, as I said, you can just slide it on like that, or you can, not that I can get that out now, there we go. You can slide that on like that, and then pop this one in like so. Your hands are, gloves are really good, but I think they're a bit old and they don't kind of fit on my hands that well without tearing. And then we've got the washer, goes on there, the castle nut, like that. Now everyone's got their own little ideas about how they do their bearings up. When this is actually on the trailer, I will I normally lock this nut up pretty tight, just to make sure everything's sort of seated, and then I back it off maybe two pins worth, like undo it a bit, just so it spins free without too much play, and then usually give it 100 kilometers worth of on-road time, and then I'll come back and have another look at it. So I won't do that bit just yet, but then to finish it off, you would put this dust cap on, and that just taps on with a hammer, bang bang bang, and that seals it up, and then that's your bearing ready to go.